way, I've changed the icons to show the sort of length of walk available. This is a 220-acre park near Ballymena with about 5 miles of tracks going around the edge of it. Apparently there are otters as well. A man tried to put me off parking there overnight, saying vehicles had been attacked, but there was a plethora of cameras, including ones on the way in taking your registration, so I did think he was just being a troublemaker, and I stayed the night with absolutely no issues and no cars coming in or out during the night. This one was a circular car park with points of the compass marked around it, and also a little tiny walk with a stream at the bottom. So I got the ubiquitous bucket of water, heated it up, washed my hair and had a shower. Glenariff has lots of waterfalls on the walk, but I also did the scenic route, and I think it clocked up about 5.5 miles. As I feared, we were walking up to the top of that ridge there, and we were already halfway up at this point. The park was shut yesterday for Storm Kathleen, and even today it's incredibly windy, and at times it did actually almost blow you off your feet. You can see the wind is actually blowing the water in the fall. One of many victims of Storm Kathleen evident around the park. Let's go, up. Good boy. Stay. 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 Good boy. Stay. Good boy. Yet another really quiet park up with the really quirkily decorated toilets, and they were the cleanest smelling toilets I've ever been in, and just inside the disabled toilets is a tap, so I filled up a couple of water containers. I really think Ireland should be renamed the Rainbow Isle. From the car park there is a track up to Lade Church, and then I walk back along the little rabbit path for a change of view. Like everywhere, Cushendall has some fascinating history, and this walk takes you past Salmon Rock and the beautifully named Port Vinegar. I think this is the remains of it. This is the remains of Lade Church, and the atmosphere was just beautiful, so peaceful, perched on the coast, on the cliffs looking out to sea. I was going to stay here the night until another motorhome arrived and drove all over the grass, rutting it up. This sign was fun as it gives all the English and Irish names with translation of what they mean, but the sign itself was huge and absolutely filthy, and I do find it a bit odd because obviously there's a lot of work gone into designing this sign, and it's big, so it costs a lot of money, and then they put it up and it doesn't seem like there's anybody who's responsible for going around cleaning the signs, which just seems such a waste. Anyway, I got my squeegee bottle out and a sponge and gave it a good clean. One day a young woman came across an old woman washing a stack of tiny white shirts in the river. When she asked about the shirts, the old woman told her, "These are the fairies' war shirts. There will be a great battle in Scotland tomorrow between the Scottish fairies and the Irish fairies, and these are the shirts the Irish fairies must wear." The young woman then asked, "How will we know the outcome of the battle?" And the old woman replied, "If the Irish fairies win, the river will be clear. If the Scottish fairies win, from now on the river will run brown with the blood of the Irish fairies." The next day the young woman came down to the river and it was running brown, and she knew the Irish fairies had lost. tribute to Johan, Cushendun's beloved goat and one of the last creatures to be killed in the 2001 foot and mouth outbreak. This is the beach at Cushendun, which had the Game of Thrones caves. I did take a couple of photos, but to be honest, they were just boring holes in the rock. Pudding stone rock though, so that the actual rock is very interesting. As I in no way wanted to be associated with the van that had driven all over the grass, cutting it up needlessly, I decided to head off for the night, and what a great decision it was. This is Tor Head. The road to it was absolutely amazing, and this bit was even funnier as it was very narrow and had a lot of hairpin bends. On top of the headland is a coastguard station that was built on the ruins of a fort known as Dunvarry, which belonged to the Gaelic warrior Barak. Barak is infamous for conspiring with the King of Ulster in the murder of the much-loved warrior brothers, the sons of Unisich. I'll put that up on the thing. The old coastguard station on the headland was built in 1822 and acted as a signal station for shipping. The larger ruin coming into view at one time provided accommodation for the coastguards when off duty. It was burnt down by the Irish Republican Army in the Irish War of Independence in 1922 for fear of it being used to billet the British auxiliaries. Slopey tonight, sky, but anyway. Oh, I think we'll be okay. Let's turn round. Wow, look at this scenery. Just look at that. Suitable for any vehicle. I parked in the first car park I came to, but in fact you could have parked on the next one down on the hairpin bend or the one at the bottom in a van. Because I didn't know the road, obviously I chickened out on the side of caution. The Friary is supposed to be haunted by a nun who fell down the steps one night. Having seen the steps, I'm not at all surprised, and in a final act of humility, she's buried in the church doorway where everyone walks over her grave. Ballycastle was lovely and seemed to be very tolerant of camper vans and motorhomes. The only drawback was that the Fairhead you cannot get to with a dog at all. It's over farmer's land. You can drive to his farm and park for a fee, but it is strictly no dogs. I then tried to walk up the other way from where I parked overnight, and you come to a gate, again saying no dogs. Tomorrow is my birthday and I'm headed on down the coast to walk the Carrick-a-Reed Bridge, and then I've booked myself into a pub for supper in the evening. Oh, and I also rescue a sheep. Unfortunately, I was too busy rescuing it to take a video.